Your knowledge of contract language is imperative.
You must know what a violation looks like if you wish to be active in its cessation.
It is important to understand that being active and knowledgeable affects your overall bargaining strength.
Together, we can forge a more militant NALC. Good morning, letter carriers, and welcome back to Parcels of Knowledge, the podcast dedicated to delivering parcels of knowledge to city letter carriers. Today, we got a pretty funny episode. It's pretty serious too. It's about the daily conflicts and confrontations with management and how to react. Now, before we get into it, I do want to mention something that happened in my office. Like I said before, we were always doing these pivots, and my office has fallen for it. Well, recently, I had a supervisor do a stand-up talk talking about a sharp increase in accidents last week, and they blamed the majority on carriers rushing, saying that, the majority of these accidents last week, it was like 19 increase in accidents. I don't know if it was the district or the PUM group or something, but it was a pretty big increase. And they said it was because we're hasty. The funny thing is, this is directly correlated to this pivot directive. If you tell the carriers you must get your route done plus a pivot in 8 hours, they will rush. And they're out here killing us and injuring us and then blaming us for rushing. And they are so bold and tone deaf that they sat there and did all but connect the dots right in front of us in an announcement. This type of shit happens all the time. And this is a perfect example of a type of situation where one might react in a way poorly. And sometimes management's trying to get that reaction from you. That's what this episode's about. I had a carrier reach out to me about doing this episode. They also specifically asked me, they said, hey, I learn better by example. So can you do like skits? Because if you just read out of books, I'm not really going to process it right. And I thought, you know what? There's probably a lot of carriers like that out there. So this time, I'm going to do the episode a little bit different. I'm going to run into a whole bunch of scenarios, daily conflicts and daily confrontations that carriers run into with management. And how do we react to it in a way that's appropriate, productive, and stays on task with our militant approach when it comes to enforcing the contract? So first, I will show a perspective of one carrier and supervisor, and then next I'll show a perspective of the other. And one of them will be doing it right, and the other one will be doing it wrong. And then I'll break down exactly what should have happened. Hopefully this format is okay. Hopefully it's not something that's too dramatic or too over the top. I'm going to do my best. It's going to be a little bit comedic, but I'm not that much of a comedian, so don't expect too much comedy. We'll start from the top of our days. Here we have a situation where a carrier has decided that after determining their projection in the morning, that they're probably going to go over 8. So here we have a carrier communicating with management about their expectations and the fact that they're going over 8, and they're going to request a 39.96. So here it goes.
Scene 1. Hey James, I think I'm going over 8 hours on my assignment today. Can you hand me a 39.96?
Really? This again. All you gotta do is do your job. You really gotta stop sitting out there messing around. Sure, I will give you the form. Just keep in mind that I will deny it. We really don't have the volume today. It's a Monday, you've only got 7 feet of flats. This is ridiculous.
Oh? I did not realize that. We haven't got the volume today. Still, I filled out my form. Here you go. I think I will be 30 minutes over. It's a hot one today.
Come on, Jeff. It's only 107 degrees. If you can't handle this, you just are not built for this job. No. You will not be 30 minutes over. You are doing this in 8 hours today. Get out of my face before I decide to go walk with you.
You know what? Fuck you, James. I will do what I can. I will just have to run the route today. If you want to criticize me, catch me outside. I do so much for you, and this is what I get. You will get what you deserve, you prick.
Scene 2.
Hey James, I think I'm going over 8 hours on my assignment today. Can you hand me a 39.96?
Really? This again. All you gotta do is do your job. You really gotta stop sitting out there messing around. Sure, I will give you the form. Just keep in mind that I will deny it. We really don't have the volume today. It's a Monday, you've only got 7 feet of flats. This is ridiculous.
Well, regardless of your premature denial, here is my completed form. What are my instructions? And on what basis have you denied my 39.96?
Jeff, just look. The numbers are right here on my computer screen. It says that your route is 7.47 hours today. You are lucky. I am not going to assign your lazy ass undertime.
James, I am done explaining myself. It takes what it takes. I will likely be 30 minutes over anyway. What are my instructions? And is that computer screen showing me the program DOIS?
Ha! How cute! No, that's not how this works. I am your manager and I am instructing you to do all of your route within 8 hours today. You do not get to tell me anything. I am your boss. You know what? You are lucky I am not going to write you up for that attitude. And yes, it is that program. Much smarter than you letter carriers. It knows how long a route really should take.
Later that day, Jeff used his scanner's text messaging system to inform management that his morning estimation was correct and asked management for further instructions.
All right, that's enough of that. Just a short disclaimer. I don't want any Jeffs or Jameses coming at me. Just to let you guys know, any names that I'm using in this is just not related to anyone that's real. These are all just fake people. That's how the scenario unfolded. It does sound pretty realistic. That does sound like a few supervisors that I know. But as you might already guess, that first scene was exactly how you don't want to handle it. That second scene, he was calm, collected, and he even asked management, what basis are they using? That's important, because us carriers need to start asking that question, because they're not allowed to deny it solely based on DOIS, which is what the supervisor was in fact doing. Now, these supervisors are not very smart. They will let you know, at least the first time until you file a grievance. They'll let you know exactly what it is. They're not very educated on the way things work. Now, don't forget, don't fall into management's trap. That first scene, the carrier reacted just how management wanted him to react. He overreacted, lost his cool, and likely probably would have got written up for it. But in the second scene, it was the supervisor who flew off the handle because he has an issue with authority. This is how you should handle it. Always ask for what your instructions will be, and if they deny it, always make sure to let management know later on, hey, by the way, my estimate was correct. What are my instructions? Because if they instruct you to get the mail done and do it in 8, then what's inherent in their instructions is that you have either choice. You can either bring it back or you can get it done. You can't have conflicting instructions. Make sure you make note of the instructions. It's best that you text message so that there's a record. Take a picture of all text messages. But yeah, that's a perfect example. Hopefully you guys thought the enactment was useful. I'm hoping that I'm meeting that carrier's criteria. But let's move on to the next scene. Man, this episode's going to be a little bit longer than my usual episodes. Hopefully you can forgive me for that. But I think it's important information. In this next scene, we have a carrier being given unsafe instructions by the supervisor. Again, we're going to have a right way and a wrong way. So here it goes.
Scene 1. Joe is on a mounted route. His supervisor has just sent him a text message on the scanner. It reads that he must immediately call the office and not to stop working. This is a direct order.
What? Is this Joe?
Yes, ma'am, Gabby. I just received a message from the office. I pulled over and made sure to call you as soon as I can.
What? Do you not know how to read? I need you to keep working. I thought that was very clear in my message. We have 3 routes down today, and we do not need this type of nonsense. Please get back to work as you talk to me. It really is not that hard.
Are you sure, Gabby? I remember the stand-up talk telling us not to drive one on the cell phone.
Are you kidding me? Joe, tell me you are not for real. That's for when you are wasting our time. I need you to work while I talk to you right now. This is a direct order. I have got a party after work and no carrier will be out beyond 4 p.m. I am not missing my party.
All right, I guess. So what is so important? What do you need?
Good, glad you are finally listening to my instruction. It really isn't that hard to just do your job. I have got a customer on 1111111 Bad Supervisor Avenue. They said you have misdelivered their mail for the past 2 days. Can you tell me why you are delivering their mail to another house? Joe, are you there? Joe, stop being lazy and answer my question.
Scene 2. Joe is on a mounted route. His supervisor has just sent him a text message on the scanner. It reads that he must immediately call the office and not to stop working. This is a direct order. Joe remembers a stand-up talk about how they should not be distracted driving. Joe pulls over and responds to management, informing them that he will not use his cell phone in the performance of his duties and asked them what they wanted. They never responded because management lives in a paradox where they can send text messages but cannot handle reading them. Joe carried on with his day and never heard from Gabby again that day.
Now that second one was a happy ending. Don't you love it when carriers get to come home because they were safe for the day? It's too bad management's instructions sometimes are in conflict with our safety, especially when it comes to making the numbers. As you had just witnessed, that first example was a perfect example of management pressuring carriers into making the wrong choice. And ultimately, the carrier is the one who pays the price for that. This is absolutely not fair. Do not ever put yourself at risk just to meet management's expectations. It's better to deal with them complaining than to deal with the injuries you may face if you are to work unsafe. In the second scene, Joe did exactly what I would have recommended that he does. Any communication with management should be done via text message on the scanner. As I said before, cell phone calls are less honest because they can say whatever they want to say, and it's a he says, she says kind of situation. With the text messaging system, you can always have a record of what was said, and although those messages get deleted, I like to always take a picture of the back and forth, especially if I think things are kind of suspicious. Because after you respond to management, normally they're not going to respond back. A lot of times they'll tell you, well, we don't really read that message. It's more for me telling you something, not you telling me. Well, that's not really my problem. Obviously, at the end of the day, you got to follow management's instructions. If they decide to tell you further on, like, hey, like I said, called me, you can't tell them, no, I'm not using my cell phone. But you can file a grievance after you are forced to use your cell phone. All right. Next, we're going to do our last and final scene. I think I'm going to do this in 2 parts. If you guys like this one, I'll do a second one where I got 3 more situations, just to keep the shortness format of our episodes. This next scene is going to be about the dreaded pivoting that has been plaguing our nation for a few weeks now. Management will tell you got to do your route and extra in only 8 hours.
Scene 1.
Oh, hey, Kim, by the way. As you know, it's Tuesday and volumes are low. Man, we all really need to start doing our part. I have got routes down today, but the Postal Service will go bankrupt if we use too much overtime. Can you please be a team player and hook me up? I need you to pivot this 30 minutes for me. That way, we can retire from this place. It is our duty to ensure this place stays afloat. I really need this.
It's Tuesday, but I do have a third bundle. To be honest, I really do not think I could do this for you again. I have done this 3 times last week. I thought back then you were asking me for a one-time favor, but it's turned into a new expectation. I really do not think it's possible today.
Need I remind you that I would like to retire from this place? How could we retire from here if we are financially irresponsible? I know your route is under for the day. You have demonstrated that you can do this. Do we have to investigate you for stationary events? It's not fair that you can do it, but you are telling me that you do not care for your team, your family. Don't you want to retire?
I guess so. Maybe I can just run fast again. I will do you a solid just this once. It's not like you will ask me another 2 times this week in the future. Last week was probably just a hard time for the post office. All right, give me the pivot.
That's the spirit, Kim. Good girl. With your hard work and the hard work of another 15 of your fellow carriers, we can work together and save the Postal Service financially. That's what they taught me at the management training. I miss that place. They have the best Kool-Aid. Here's your pivot.
Oh no, you told me 30 minutes, but this is a 1-hour piece. It's okay, I guess. Maybe if I work through my breaks and my lunch, I will do just fine. I've got you covered. See you later.
Scene 2.
Oh, hey, Kim, by the way. As you know, it's Tuesday and volumes are low. Man, we all really need to start doing our part. I have got routes down today, but the Postal Service will go bankrupt if we use too much overtime. Can you please be a team player and hook me up? I need you to pivot this 30 minutes for me. That way, we can retire from this place. It is our duty to ensure this place stays afloat. I really need this.
Not again. You got me last time to work unsafe. I just heard the service talk. There is a rise in accidents because of carriers rushing. I was rushing last week when I did you that favor 3 times. I'm not falling for that again. Today I will be working at a safe and precise pace. I will not injure myself. Realistically, you cannot spell pivot without a T.
Need I remind you that I would like to retire from this place? How could we retire from here if we are financially irresponsible? I know your route is under for the day. You have demonstrated that you can do this. Do we have to investigate you for stationary events? It's not fair that you can do it, but you are telling me that you do not care for your team, your family. Don't you want to retire?
Like I've said before, no. I am the carrier, and I am not estimating that this is possible within 8 hours. If I need to, I will turn in a 39.96. But if you are assigning me this, it will likely be in an overtime status.
Suit yourself. You are screwing over our whole building. You are selfish, and the Postal Service needs your help. Good luck out there. I will be out there to do an observation. You will be written up for any and all stationary time. This is not a game.
I would like to speak to my steward.
The steward and the carrier spoke about the conversation had. The steward let the carrier know that once you start saying yes, management will start expecting you to say yes. Those who stretch themselves thin to get the job done and meet the numbers most often find themselves in a position where they are expected to stay stretched thin. The carrier learned the value of protecting their route and saying no. The steward told them if they see any retaliation, they will subsequently file a grievance. Additionally, the steward advised Kim to do her route today. If they push the extra, inform the office that they need instructions of what to do with the piece if it will put them over 8 HRS for the day.
Once again, any names that resemble any real-life people, it's just a correlation. I'm not actually referring to real-life people. These are all completely fake people. But here we are. Number 2 again was the right situation. Management's right. We do need to start doing our part. We need to start doing our part in saying no. We got to say it appropriately, and that's what this is all about. Trying to figure out the appropriate way to react to management. Our lives are full of confrontations and frustrations as we juggle personal, financial, and career obligations. These everyday occurrences accumulate as stresses to our minds and bodies. Although small amounts of stress can actually work as a motivator and drive a person to achieve, the physical and mental well-being of someone continually under a high level of stress will suffer. Stress needs to be taken seriously. A letter carrier in this situation should consider seeking professional medical help. One of the most common situations that cause stress we hear about is an overbearing supervisor with unreasonable expectations about the time it will take a letter carrier to complete a daily assignment. Being issued orders that cannot be complied with puts letter carriers on the defensive for a number of reasons. People who must explain why time expectations cannot be met may feel their integrity is being questioned. Do not fall into management's trap and overreact. The stress levels of a carrier who is continually rushed or squeezed to perform work at an unreasonable pace can remain elevated throughout the entire workday. The fear of disciplinary action or retribution, whether implied or imagined, only adds to this already stressful situation. And that is why I put this episode out early. I will be having part 2 on Wednesday. Again, we'll have 3 additional scenarios. And we'll also have more words of wisdom about how to react to management appropriately, yet still militantly. Again, like I said before, our Region 6 people should be submitting questions to me for Region 6 MBA candidate Walt McGregory. We're going to do a Q&A episode in June. So if you got anything to ask him or want to get to know him, please submit any questions to me. We appreciate you listening. I really do. And I know I'm not as funny as Rick Rock. This episode wasn't too funny, but I thought it was kind of funny. Shout out to my homeboy Rick Rock. Hope you guys have a good day today. Enjoy the rest of your day delivering routes. As always, stay strong.